Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna. Today I do have a few things I want to talk about. First and foremost, we're going to talk about two tools that I've been using more recently that have helped my sales and helped me make better decisions when I'm sourcing. We're also going to touch base with the Canada Post situation that's happening here in Canada. And we're also going to talk about people being nasty. Not a big deal, but I'm going to touch on that because it's important. So, first and foremost, and this is what I really want to talk about today, is sell-through rate and cost of goods. These are two things that I use when I'm outsourcing to make that decision whether or not I'm picking that item to add it to my store or my closet or my inventory. So, cost of goods is quite self-explanatory. It's what you pay for the item, whether it's at the thrift store, at the bins, estate auctions, whatever. It's the actual cost of you picking that item up. You can put your gas and your time into that cost as well, because that does mean something. So cost of goods is one thing. I'm pretty cheap. I like to get things really, really cheap. Something I'm actually working on is, spending a little bit more for quality items, but for the most part, I like my cost of goods to be low. Next is sell-through rate, and I have to be honest, this is something that I've been the last few months paying a lot more attention to, and it really does work. So very simply, sell-through rate means basically the number of items that are being sold compared to the number of items available. I know that there is a mathematical equation to figure it out, but I'm keeping it really, really simple for you and for me because it seems to be working for me. So I go to the thrift store and I look at something and go, yeah, that's cool. And I always check sold comps, especially if it's an item I'm not 100% aware of. So if it's something new to me, I will go through and check for sold comps. But before I do that, I look to see what is available. And if I have time, I do multiple searches in the sense of different platforms. eBay and Poshmark are my go-tos. That's what I do. So I look to see what is available. How much are people asking for this item as compared to what I have to pay to buy it? So what are they asking for? And how many of them are available? Then I switch to sold comps on either platform and I see how many items have sold. I also see when. So it's really, really important to have a more recent result for your sold comps because it's not going to matter if that item sold for $200 2 years ago, unless it's a very rare item. Most common items, you want the last 3 months, say, of solds to make sure that it's still selling. So when I do that to get my sell-through rate, what I want the solds to be in number a lot. I want a lot more solds and a lot less available. You want that balance because that way, or unbalance in a sense, because you want your item to be selling quicker. So since I've been doing this, I know that when I go sourcing, I'm leaving more items behind that will just sit in my closet or my store because I don't want those kinds of items. And the items I am picking up are selling faster in the sense of compared to what they used to. I still haven't figured it out like 100%, but now that when I go to just into my listings, I am seeing a lot more sold banners, so my more recent listings are selling a little bit faster, which I absolutely love. That is helping me out a great deal right now especially. So I also want to take it a little step further with you because I want to show you an example. So I've gone to Value Village for the last 3 weeks in a row type of thing, and I've only brought home a couple of things. I have left behind all 3 weeks. There has been this coat there, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is somebody else's, but this is the coat I'm talking about. Value Village has it priced at $47, which is a lot. That is a huge amount for a thrift store price. With a 30% discount, which I get on Tuesdays, it would be like $32.50, something like that. So I'm thinking, oh, I wonder. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's leather. The brand is Quaker. I keep going Quaker. It's Cracker Factory. So you know what? It's kind of a niche market. It's vintage. What do you think? Maybe it's worth the $32. If it's selling for $100 or more, yeah, maybe, right? So what I did is, because it's still there, and I don't think it's going to sell for that price, I figured out why too. I went in and I did do some research, and yeah, there are a few available, like, maybe 10, 15 type of thing, different colors, everything else, and maybe only one or two or three have sold. And they're only selling for around the $30 mark. So it's like, why would I pay all that money to not even break even? So it is really, really important, especially when you get blinded by a style or a brand, to check your comps and your sell-through rates before you actually purchase it. Because honestly, I look at this coat and go, okay, that's kind of neat, that's different, somebody's gonna love it, which is not a great attitude to have, because I don't have the room for all those kinds of items. So for me, checking that sell-through rate and looking at the comps really helped me not to buy that and spend that money and not make any money in return. Now I know on Etsy, which is a little bit harder to check for solds, somebody's wanting $64 for it, but even for me, that price it does not make sense for me to buy it at $32 for that price. So I did leave it behind, but I'll go visit it next week because it's probably still going to be there. Now, I have in the past 100% been blinded by brand and by style, and using my sell-through rates has actually really helped me not make that mistake anymore. I am limited in space to what I can have. I cannot have that attitude of the right buyer will come along. It just doesn't work for me because I don't have the space to hold on to things for 2 or 3 years. Now, I did my inventory in August, and I've been, in my back of my head, I've got my purge list ready to go for January, because I have things that it's like, yeah, they're not going to sell. Now, it's really weird because there's like, on especially Posh US, I'm either selling something that I just listed or I'm selling something that's a year old, which is really strange. There's no in between. But you know what? It's time to do a major overhaul on my business and my inventory. So I will be really double thinking what I bring into the house for one thing and what I'm taking away and purging at the end of this year. I went to Value Village yesterday with Paul. I wasn't feeling 100%. I took a break from social media, everything. And I came home with one item to resell, and it was a Wilford sleeveless shirt. And I got it for 2 reasons. Number one, I think the price was, I think I paid $8 in total for it. Number two is size large, which is really good for that brand. Wilford is an Aritzia brand, and it was 100% silk. And the sell-through rate and comps were okay. They were selling for about $30, $35, and there wasn't a ton listed, and there was a little bit more sold. So I'm really happy with that. But one item, that's all I got to resell, which, you know what, that's, it's interesting because I used to go, oh, I gotta have, and I put a lot of things back because it just are not working for my business. So sell-through rate is one thing. Your cost of goods also matters in your decision because you have to be at least making your money back times 3-4 times or something like that. So you want to look at your sell-through rate, your cost of goods, your sell-through rate, and your sold prices, and then that will equal whether or not you bring it home or if you leave it at the store. That's what I've been doing, and it seems to be working quite well. So, moving on. After all this stuff that's going on right now with Posh US, we now have an issue here in Canada that Canada Post may be going on strike at the beginning, sometime in the beginning of November. We're watching the situation. I know people are starting to question what will happen because that's what we ship with Posh Canada. And of course, Posh Canada is not giving us any definitive answers, which I don't blame them. I understand that. But they say they are quite aware. They're working on something in order for us to still ship. So we will see what happens. This is not being helpful to the state of everybody's minds right now. I have noticed a huge uptick in just grumpiness and tenseness and nastiness over the past month. I know that there's a lot going on in the world. I know there's a lot going on in the United States right now. Here in Canada as well, we are also looking at the strike. You know, Posh US just did what they did in the middle of Q4. So I understand that everyone is really tense right now. And I try to keep in mind that some people are lashing out because they need to vent. They need to have something that, you know what, just to get it out there. It's not welcome here on this channel. I did have to block somebody, which I've never had to do, which is interesting. You know that if you don't have the same opinion as me, I welcome that. I welcome that discussion. I don't know everything. I'm not even close to 100% knowing everything. You know, so I welcome differences of opinion. I think that's where we grow and how we learn. But I do ask you to be respectful, which like 99% of you are. But I ask you to watch the videos. So I did have somebody comment on my last video, and everything that they had said was like, yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. Did you even watch the video? So I allowed the first comment, and I responded to it saying, yeah, you need to watch the video because I didn't say that. I said this is what's happening, and blah, blah, blah. And somebody else actually backed me up on that, which I am very, very thankful for. And I thought, okay, you know what, leave it. I responded, I stood up for myself, I nipped it in the bud, that's fine. No. This person decided that they would comment again, only it was a brand new comment. It wasn't even in the thread that she had started. And they did it again, saying, you know, just not nasty, like she didn't say nasty name calling or anything like that, just the attitude. And it's like, you know what, you need to watch the videos. I'm not dealing with you. I'm not going to respond. You already got what you need. Like, I already gave you what I was giving you. So I had to block them. I muted them and I blocked them. It really is because of everything that's going on. I've been on this channel for a few years now, and I don't get a ton of what I would consider nasty. I get differences of opinion, which is absolutely fantastic and wonderful and welcome because they're respectful. But nastiness, I haven't had to deal with that. So I think this is a result of everything that's going on right now. I think Poshmark made a huge mistake in their deliverance of everything that was happening. Not in, like, I'm not going to get into it, but it was a huge and made people angry. And I understand that, but you know what? I had nothing to do with it. So therefore, I understand it. I do understand, like, some of the Facebook groups, people are just getting nasty. And they're not, I don't get it. I mean, I know that there's a lot going on right now, and I hope that in a few months, or hopefully a month, everything calms down and comes back down to a little bit normal. I'm really hoping that that happens because it is getting harder and harder to stay calm in this situation. If somebody comes at me, I do want to fight back, but I have to remember I do empathize and try to say, okay, what are you talking about, and try to understand. I don't attack back, but I will stand up for myself. So anyway, please, if you do not agree with me, absolutely let me know. You're allowed to have your own opinion. Your business is your business. You know what I mean? I do things my way, you do things your way, and that's okay. As long as it works for you, who am I to say anything different, right? Anyway, that is it for now. I hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday. It is Wednesday. I'll be back later in the week. I don't know with what. Maybe I'll haul. Maybe I'll go to the bins tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. I know that my local Goodwill is having a 50% off red and green tags. 2 tags on Friday. Maybe I'll go to that instead. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Anyway, everybody have a fantastic Wednesday, and I'll see you next time. Bye.